under this Q&A.
I need the Zoom link, actually.
Du hast den Reminder weggeschoben, hast du?
Ich habe es auch weggeschoben, ich habe mein Handy nicht mehr. Ich kann es aber. Ja, I will send it.
Okay.
Hast du irgendwie Kleidung? Können wir das nicht machen? Ja, das kann das doch nicht sein. Eigentlich hatte ich am Montag alle Uhren. Ist ja keine Eingeladen. Also ich habe. Ja, weiß ich nicht, ob du dann da reinkommst. Einladung hin oder her. Okay, welcome everyone to today's INM1 seminar, also to the people joining online. Following up on a seminar that we had some months ago on language models. So out of the seminar came the idea, since we were also talking about tools and how to use language models, that there is BlaBlaDoor as a very, very prominent examples. And today I'm very happy to welcome Dr. Alex Strube from JSC, who actually made BlaBlaDoor. So a tool for hosting and using language models right over there. Yeah, and without further ado, please.
Thank you. So I'm Alex, and I will talk a bit about BlaBlaDoor, as you heard. Who has never heard this name before here? Okay. Okay. So let's do like this. Okay, this is just some stuff. This is me, obviously. And what is this thing? BlaBlaDoor. It's this is how you spell it, like you hear me saying. It's the idea was that when we created this thing, we wanted a name that was approachable and not calling it something like, I don't know, Helmholtz Large Language Model Inference Server or something boring like that. Because my boss was afraid that those things, those large language models, they hallucinate. Yeah, they say things that they don't know. And he was absolutely afraid of repercussions if we would do something with a too serious name. So I said, okay, then I took my sister's dog as an inspiration for that. So the idea is that it's a place where you can host large language models and use it. So we use mostly open source stuff. We have different models regarding size, regarding speed, regarding quality, and they keep changing all the time. And this is a website, this is a server, this is a model runner. That's basically it. Yeah. Now how to open it? It's a website, as I said. You can go here and do something like this. If you never saw it, it's a chatbot. It's too small here, yeah. You talk to it, and it talks back. That's it. Yeah. So that's the most simple thing. It's our own version of ChatGPT. Yeah. This thing has been running here in Jülich for almost 3 years now. And one of the important things here is that it doesn't record anything that you ask it or that you give it to it. So that was always important because people like Projektträger or the administration, they use it. So the confidentiality is there, so that it doesn't record anything at all. On the other hand, as you saw the web interface, it's kind of limited. Yeah, it's just this one thing here. You write and it writes you back. So yeah, so was just a screenshot in case things would not work. And there is another thing that I have been doing lately, which is use another interface, a more modern one, let's say like this, which has more resources. You can add files, you can ask things. For example, here I have all the documentation of the internal regulations of Jülich, of Forschungszentren, I could say. What happens if an idiot set this place on fire? Yeah, I don't know. It will check the documentation of Forschungszentren, and it will cite what to do in case of that. And yeah, that's it. So the thing is that this is much more interesting in terms of resources. People have been asking me for that. But there's still some things. It's not in the way I want it yet, and it stores user data for a while, and then it deletes automatically again. Unless you mark like a temporary conversation, then it's completely private. It runs code, it does plots, it does web search, so it's really interesting in this sense. It's much more capable than the thing that has been running before. But one thing that I wanted to talk about was about, because I thought that most people here already knew BlaBlaDog. So what I wanted to show is how you can do more interesting things with it instead of just talking to a website. Yeah, and this is what we call API. So a lot of people have been using large language models together with codes with what became a standard, which is the OpenAI API. So whoever worked with this can work the same that they would work with ChatGPT or with Claude or with Gemini. They can work with BlaBlaDog. Yeah, and I have been, this has been a lot of work this year, and you can use your code, you can use other tools, you can use MCP, I will talk about this a bit later, and you can also use our infrastructure for your own research, which has been done a lot. We have a lot of papers already of people using BlaBlaDog on their research. If you want to have a look, you get like a token. A token is like a password, and you use it on your own code, and then you can access the thing via programming. I wanted to do a demo. I'm not sure if I will manage to, but so here's Visual Studio Code. You probably saw it before. And here's BlaBlaDog connected to it. This is something called Continue Dev. It's some guys in California. And we work together, and they give me very good support to use BlaBlaDog as code. So this might fail, so let's see. Make breakout game, I don't know. And the thing will create a game as we speak. We will write code, and let's see what happens. Right now, I'm using a model called Qwen. Qwen is from Alibaba. China is the most advanced people in large language models, which are open source right now. They are making it much better than we are, and they're making it way much better than the Americans are. So if I accept this thing, we'll create the code. Let's see if it runs. Probably not. It will not. So doesn't work. Make a UP, yeah. So this is what people call vibe coding. Yeah, so you don't actually code much. You let the machine code for yourself, and you keep saying, you keep correcting it. Yeah, so let's see, we accept this thing. It did, it worked. So let's try source.
I think I put it in SRC.
Yeah, no, it's not. Sorry. this is the funny experience of vibe coding. Half of the stuff doesn't work, you keep doing until it works, yeah? So let's see, need to install plugin. Oh, it's there already, okay, I didn't see, I was without the glasses. Okay, did it do it? Okay, something is happening. I think it worked. Oh, there we go. It created a game in front of us. Live. Yeah, kind of worked. Well, the keys work. Okay, cool. Yeah, so this is vibe coding. You don't actually program. You ask the machine to do it, and you keep steering the machine to do what you want. Yeah. Oh, that worked way better than I expected to do. Okay, so what else? So this is a demo. I did another one where I actually rewrote Blavador using Blavador. And it worked as a text interface. It was very good. So, okay. So that was the idea of using Blavador as a coding assistant. There are other things that we can do. Yeah. So this is I'm leaving this here because you have the presentation later and you can actually use it yourself, and you can ask me, yeah, if you need help with anything and do things like this. Yeah. So. There are things that you have to do, yeah. It's not so that example worked way better than I expected, as I said. But you have to know how to talk to the thing. In the end, you are actually programming, yeah. I mean, you're talking, but you're giving instructions telling you exactly what to do. So that's programming. So there's a lot of things that you have to pay attention to. For example, this thing about context. The thing is that the large language models, they don't understand when the text gets too long, it starts losing itself because of something called attention mechanism. And so the easiest way to do things is like reset the conversation every now and then and do it again. Yeah, so this. Another thing is like if you ask it to do like 3 things at the same time, it will not do. It will fail. It loses context, it gets confused. So one order, be clear. Yeah, it's like talking to a dog. Yeah, and so another thing is like if you know what you're willing to do, like you want to put it on GitHub, you want to have passwords, you want to have secrets, yeah, or a virtual environment, whatever. If you know what I'm talking about in Python, usually that's the thing that people do. You do it at the beginning because then it uses it properly. Another thing is like, for example, once I wrote code to access blah 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 itself, and I give the password. And it puts the password on the code and publishes the password on GitHub. So pay attention to those things. So this happens a lot, that people develop apps with this thing, and they don't pay attention to what is on the code, because it works. And they publish, and then 5 days later, they realize that someone stole their passwords and are using their stuff. So pay attention to that. Another thing, a lot of software developers don't like writing tests for their code, which we should. I myself don't write as much as I should, but you can ask it to do tests and then do like, please keep running the thing until it passes your own tests. Yeah, so that's very helpful to make your code better. Another tool so this was about code, yeah. Another tool that you can use with Blavador, for example, is GPT-4o. GPT-4o is a desktop tool which connects to Blavador as, where's the models here? Yeah, so here, for example, this is Blavador. And it works the same as a chatbot, but the thing is that it's local on your machine, and it only talks the minimum necessary to the server. So what you can do here is add your own documents privately and ask questions about your documents, and this will never leave your machine. Yeah, so that's why I wanted to show this tool. So because the name of the talk is using real world tools. So here I did the same as I did on the website. So where is my screen has Zoom on top? Okay, here. Let me use Bladder. What if I use pirate software? So it will consult the documentation and will tell something about it. And you'll find the relevant sources of it. What did it do? Ah, here. There is this document called IT security for whatever. Yeah. So this is another tool that talks to the BlaBlaDoor server, but stays on your machine. So this is very useful for analyzing documents and things like this. Okay, what else? So this is RAG is a name of it's called Retrieval Augmented Generation, which means you take PDFs and Word files and things like that and ask questions about it, and it analyzes the structure of the text and tries to give you answers. That's it. Same story. You add the model, you point to my server, and it runs. Yeah. So this is just for you for reference later. Yeah. Here's the screen. Another thing that people have been asking me before, it's about not just text, but other kinds of input. So now we have, for example, one model that understands images. Yeah, you can ask things. It doesn't understand. I tried showing a picture of my broken arm, an X-ray of it. It didn't understand it. It knew that it was an X-ray, but it said, "Yeah, I will not give you medical advice. Sorry." So, for example, here I asked it to explain the joke. Yeah, you probably saw this kind of cartoon, and it does explain the joke pretty well. It understands, reads the thing. It's able to actually read the text of the thing and understand the subtlety of the joke and explain it to you. It does more than that. Yeah, you can ask about plots. You can ask about images in general. Yeah, and this is there on the server, and it works pretty well actually. I'm surprised. Another thing that people have been doing and talking a lot about in large language models is something called MCP. It's called Model Context Protocol. Basically, this is a way to connect your large language model to everything. And everything, I mean literally everything. It's if you have any way of accessing another code via programming, you can actually give orders with large language models via this thing. This is the idea of MCP. So, for example, there is a 3D software called Blender. A lot of people play with this thing. And there is a connector, this MCP thing, and you actually say to a large language model, "Please draw me something," and it does. Yeah, it talks to Blender, and for example, yeah, or you can talk to Microsoft Word or to your software. Yeah, so this is very new. This is something that appeared at the beginning of this year. And it's pretty much like the Wild West right now. If you go to the website of MCP, there are like thousands of, I think I have a link here, let me see, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, yes, this one. So if oh yeah, so here, those are demonstration of things that people have been doing with it. And if you go to this page, there are thousands of those. Yeah, like connected to SAP, connected to, I don't know, Google Tasks. Okay, I really need glasses that I can see foreign notes. So you see, it's crazy. And the thing is that you install those things in your machine and you have no idea what is there. Yeah, so I tried to do it this weekend and I was like, okay, I'm not touching this thing ever again for now. It's too unsafe. But yeah, so turns out that it works with BlaBlaDoor. I connected BlaBlaDoor yesterday to a robot, and it works. I say, go ahead, and it starts moving the robot ahead and things like this. There is a team they're in Hamburg, but they control the radio telescope, the gamma ray telescope in Chile, in the desert with BlaBlaDoor. So that was a pretty interesting paper that we came out recently too, and they use this thing. Yeah, so this is just a demo if you want to use it on continued dev. So what I did was, here I have, I think, 1, 2, oh, I don't have any anymore. Okay, I deleted for the sake of my machine. the thing is like this, it's actually just calling here, yeah, for example, calling the node JavaScript server and calling a remote code. So it's very, very dangerous, just for you to know about that, yeah. If you use this thing, know that you're doing something that is possibly dangerous. So here was a demo that I did this weekend, that I said, okay, just use the web server, yeah, use a browser. And I said, well, just talk to me about potato, because whatever. And if you see those 3 lines there, it's actually opening a browser and searching things on the internet and getting the information back, yeah. I mean, I could ask this without searching the web, but it was just to see that it would actually open another tool and do things, yeah. Okay, so I think that's it actually. Got pretty fast. I was not sure how long it would take with this thing because I was counting with the game thing failing. So yeah, that's it from my side. And questions, please.
Alex, thanks a lot.
Sure.
This was super interesting. I'm wondering for the vibe coding, this is of course a beautiful thing and everyone will start programming now. Yeah. But I'm wondering whether we shouldn't have any recommendations how to set up a safe environment before doing that, because of course no one knows what the system is really programming. As you said, you need to look at the code.
Yes.
But the people who will use it most will be the ones who are not good at reading code. Otherwise, they would write it probably. And what you just did, I mean, the code could have deleted your disk, or on my computer, it could have even taken a file from our network shares and published it on Facebook.
Yes.
So I think this should be done in a container that does not have access to your critical folders and stuff like this, right? Probably we should have some recommendations for people, or even a container prepared or something for the vibe coding.
Let me show you something. So here on the new interface of Volador, it actually has a code interpreter, and it runs code on a protected environment, just like you said. Let's say make a plot about the disastrous Tesla sales this year. It will probably try to open Yahoo. Use only matplotlib. Not use Yahoo Finances. I don't know why it likes to do this. Let's see what it does. And by the way, that dog is my dog. Yeah. I should have put a picture of it. Oh yeah, there we go. So it actually created this image, but if you look at it, it created code. And this code runs on your browser on a virtual machine that is safe and doesn't have access to your file system, but it runs Python. Yeah, it is a Python interpreter on WebAssembly. So this is a way of doing things, for example, that is safe.
But the Visual Code plugin is of course very super useful. So I think there people should also set up a container.
Well, I can only give the tool. I cannot tell how people should use it. Yeah, I mean, I can give recommendations, but that's as far as I can go. Yeah, people are using it, and people are doing good things and disastrous things. But it's the world where we are now. Yeah, I can only help. Questions?
When it comes to test-driven development, when it comes to test-driven development,
yes.
What did it work best? Like if I write, I don't know, a bunch of unit tests, or should I start with, for example, a general scheme of tests?
So this is the same as doing, as you said, test-driven development. Yeah, you write the test before, and then you write the code. That works very well. And you can actually you can be descriptive enough that you create tests. Before you write your code on this thing itself, you say, write tests. And then write the code and force it to run the test. And it does. It runs the test and only goes ahead when it passes the test. Questions? We're early. Yes?
One more question. If someone, for example, our institute had a nice text body and would like to train a model on the text body to have, as you did, I think, for the Jülich docs or
Yes.
something like this, is that something you support, or is it, how would we, or would we simply, because you have a lot of experience with that, right? So we are of course thinking about having a language model that is very good at neuroscience literature, for example. Is this something you support, or where we could?
So, you know about Homos AI, I think you heard of it.
I think I heard about it, but I have to look it up again.
Yes, and so there are consultants for that. There are people working specifically on that thing. There are different ways of doing this. One is using a generic model, not training, in using this called RAG, this thing called RAG, which is what I did here. Yeah, it doesn't actually change the model. The model is there. It does a database search on your documents, and then uses the large language model to answer the questions, but it doesn't actually learn about it.
That's what you did with the Jülich documentation?
Yes, yes, yes. So I'm using the model as it is, yeah, this Qwen3 Chinese model. Another way is training a model. Like you add your knowledge to the model itself. This is much more expensive because it's training a model. And it doesn't necessarily work better. It learns your stuff, but it also hallucinates. So there's no guarantee that you're getting any better result. Yeah, so those are basically, there is something else, but this is what most people do. There is a model called, what was the name? Called Sage, Astro Sage or something like this. So it's a guy it's a Dutch guy that is in Riken in Japan, and he trained a model with cosmology. And that one works pretty well for cosmology, but it answers questions pretty well in pretty much everything, actually. Cosmosage is the name of that one. I hosted it for a year in Valladolid, but now the guy got his own funding and Cosmosage. Yeah, so this one. So this became his full-time thing now, and you can actually access it directly. Yeah, so. Oh, okay, here you download the model, but this button is not working for whatever reason, but there was a version that you can actually talk on with it. Like, yeah, there are people that can do that with you. We have people for that. We are doing one right now with the administration of Forschung Center. That's why I had that demo. That was the first approach, and they didn't like it so much half a year ago because the thing was hallucinating, and turns out that the model that we were using at the time was not so good, and now it got much better with the new Chinese models. More questions? Yes?
Very quickly, for the code that it creates, have you tested in terms of security?
Depends on what you ask it to do, yeah. That demo was pretty simple. It's a Pygame thing. So you can actually ask for it to test itself against the security threats, and you can actually use. So one of the MCP servers that on that gigantic list is one of those penetration testing things that you can actually connect a large language model to a tool that does this kind of testing, and it tests your code. It was trained on pretty much all code that is available online, so it's kind of a mixed bag, let's say like this. More questions?
Yeah.
Yes.
I would have a question also regarding handling of different models. I mean, if we look at ChatGPT or Gemini, they typically have like 5 models or so, and then they have a pretty name, and then use this one for coding, this one for thinking longer, blah, 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 blah.
Yeah.
You have a lot of models. How do you have an idea on how to handle this I mean, now you have basically the model name, which is fine if you know that you want to use this model, but if you want to, like, if you don't have a clue of what, when, or...
Yes, so I created something that I call aliases. If you look at the list of models here, you see that there are like one for code.
okay.
So when the model changes underneath, you can always point to alias code and it will be a better code model. Yeah. So here you have alias embeddings for for embeddings. You have a fast one, which is the fastest that I always have. Something that I'm playing around with, a large one which is slower, yeah, a huge one, and Trust LLM is the one made in Yiddish. Yeah. It's not good yet. And this GPT 3.5 is because there are some tools that actually hard code the name of ChatGPT on them, like there is a tool called LangChain that a lot of people have been using, and it first asks if this model exists, and then it continues with yourself. So I just keep it there, and yeah, there are a lot of other things here. Yeah, and this Text DaVinci and Text Embedding is the same story. It's because of LangChain.
Okay. Another question, what's in the pre-prompt? Do you do anything?
No.
No? Nothing?
No. On the web interface, there is a pre-prompt, but you can set it.
Ah, yes, so you can actually see it and you can change it.
Yes, it's on the new web interface. Yes, here there is something. Okay, Zoom is hiding stuff here. I cannot. Okay, I think it's here. Yeah, here. So, but there is nothing. Yeah, as you can see. On the old website, I just say be helpful and don't be rude. But I leave it open because when you put a prompt, it will always steer answers to that thing. And a lot of researchers don't want that. They want to play with, I want to make it give me bad answers. I want to see what the model actually does and not have Alex in between. Yeah. So that's why I don't keep any system prompt. Questions?
The document augmented retrieval thing was the client, right? Something I downloaded, or was it in the browser?
So one of them that I showed was this GPT-4o. Yeah, that's the name, GPT-4o. You download it and point it to blah blah. Yeah, it's a client. It's a desktop application. It runs in Windows, Linux, and Mac. But you can also directly on Blabladoor here. You can upload documents directly and ask things about them.
Okay, so I would have to prepare a whole folder with
Yes.
documents related. So
Yeah.
I cannot ask search my file system.
No. Okay, I won't do anything here before I embarrass myself.
Will it be integrated in the intranet? I think it would be so useful to help navigating the intranet. Right? It's so difficult to find stuff in the intranet.
We have the worst search engine I've ever seen in my life.
I didn't want to say.
Once I was looking for this document that says the days that we have off that we get every beginning of the year, and it found a version from 1967. Which
Put it first.
Yeah, scan. And I was like, why someone bother to scan this thing and put it on the internet? Okay.
Yeah, but you have a solution here, right? It's only that it's...
Yes, so actually it's possible to search. I did some playing with that, and there is someone, Masha Schmidt, that she's playing with using the internet to increase the knowledge of the map. But it's so difficult.
It would save the research center a lot of time.
Oh, it's so chaotic. That thing. You're right, we should do something about that. Questions?
In terms of hardware, what does it need now, and what will it need if you continue to attach fancy things to it like vision and so on?
A lot of GPUs.
Okay.
Right now I have something like 40. And with Jarvis I will get a couple hundred more. I'm using parts of Eureka DC. I'm using the JSC cloud, and I have my own servers as well. It's running on 3 different places at the same time. It's a logistic mess. Recently I got new H100, NVIDIA H100s. Those are very good. But I have everything from gaming GPUs up to that. So, yeah. And I ran it on Jupyter too, it runs, but they don't like when I keep running stuff there for 2 days. More questions?
Maybe a bit meta question. In terms of sustainability, carbon,
Oh man, no. No, I'm. People are asking me to provide it. It's there. I will not. They're running. They do shut themselves if they go to slow energy state, but this is normal PC stuff. So if we keep thinking like this, we don't do anything.
This was just the general stuff.
The thing is that we have most of the energy coming to JFC is screen, so it's not the coal mine, so that's a good thing. Yes?
In more general terms, which factors influence hallucinations?
Those things don't think. They don't think. Yeah. They just remember things kind of randomly. So everything's a hallucination. The thing is that some of them are useful.
Well, that's a bit tricky. I mean, this explanation, I understand what you say, but I'm not completely happy, honestly, with the answer.
Okay.
Because sometimes it's really, so to say, inventing stuff. You know? So I heard from colleagues who research the literature and has it been published, and then it invites a reference.
Yes.
But this is not a true reference. And
Yes.
in that respect, it's really something.
So this problem exists, will always exist, because those things, as I said, they always invent. What they do is it's only that. The thing is that as they get more sophisticated, they start remembering more and inventing less. Yeah. The more information you add to them, I mean, the more training data you give to them, they get better. The bigger they are, up to a point, they get better. But if they are, for example, too big and you don't have enough data, it hallucinates wildly.
Are there any strategies to introduce, let's say, independent verification?
Yes. So one of the things that you can do here, for example, is this web search. Yeah. When you put web search here, it feeds itself. It gives the answer, but first it searches the web. So if it's on the web, it will first understand what's saying and give a reference. Yeah. So this improves the quality of the answers a lot. It's got much better, way better. Like from 2 years ago to now, it's incredibly better. And there was a lot of research on that, on the training data, on the way that you actually, on the algorithms to train the models, on the model size, how you keep what they call attention, which is this thing that kind of relates every word to each other on a reply. So. But I don't think that this will be ever perfect. There is no way guaranteeing that, because it's actually what you want from it is for it to come up with new things.
You think that this introduction of more tools, like you showed, and also what GPT-5 is now doing, like,
yeah.
Do you think that this also is a contributing factor to make it hallucinate less because it can cross-check more? Or has
it does get better,
yeah.
But again, it's never going to be perfect. We also say stuff that we don't know, right? So, questions?
Are there any specific attention mechanisms that the models are using? I mean, in the cognitive neuroscience world, we have different mechanisms of attention and way you put it. And are there also different strategies?
Yes, yes. So this is what they call a transformer. And every now and then when you read a new paper about a new model, you see that they slightly change the transformer to improve the attention. So you see different labs producing their own versions of the thing and say, look, we did like this because it turns out much better than using the default that Google invented 7 years ago. So for example, one of the things that people have been doing is called mixture of experts, where you train the model with different areas. So it's not that it's using the whole thing all the time, but like little areas of expertise. So you train this thing as a small thing just on engineering, this thing only on coding, this thing only on philosophy, whatever. Yeah. And then when it comes to reply to you, it will actually activate parts of these things and not use the whole thing. So because of that, the training data has been much more specific on the theme that you're asking, it gets better. Yeah. So for example, this model here, it's a model of 30 billion parameters, this is the name, and it activates 3 billion as an expert, so it has 10 heads, they call heads of this thing.
Any more questions?
You can always write me, I'm on the chat, email, I'm around, you probably have seen me walking around randomly here. And yeah, thank you then.
Thank you again.
Is there any questions from Zoom?
This will okay.
Okay, thank you.